I would like to start off by, just a quick intro on our speaker. Pastor Ben is joining us for the fourth time in a row. I honestly think that deserves a special, you know, round of applause. Welcome back. Welcome back, Pastor Ben. Pastor Ben is an IT consultant with over 20 years experience in IT. He has worked in financial services, hospitality, and the travel sector, across a number of roles. He comes with deep knowledge, insight in software, product development, and delivery. He's a pastor. He's a pastor of Loveworld, Wellingborough. I hope I pronounced that right. And he's married with 3 kids. Is there like a theme? Our previous speaker is also married with 3 kids. Maybe there's something here. He enjoys traveling, studying, and loves trying new gadgets. Pastor Ben, thank you so much. Welcome back. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Tomilola. Thank you for that introduction. I want to ask if everybody can hear me. If that's yes, just wave. And first of all, I really want to thank the team for Sophia ERP Church and also the convener of the Church Tech Talk. This is really important for the church. I mean, we have to talk about tech, and there's no way to talk about IT or tech. And just like Mr. Conrad referred to our role, we have the highest access to true wisdom, and that's very true. My topic today is tech-savvy shepherds, pastors, equipping cell leaders with essential digital skills and solutions. So let's get to it. Let me see. I'm trying to get my slide monitor. So let's go to that one. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the power of technology. And I think we've already kind of grasped that from the initial, especially Dr. Nusa and also even Mr. Conrad, who would actually talk to us about so there's a power of technology in cell ministry. The church I belong to, we emphasize a lot on cell ministry. It's so important, and therefore technology is important. So why technology? This fuels the mission and the growth. Now, digital tools, first of all, expand reach and engagement. We did hear from Dr. Nusa earlier about the what has happened to his church during the COVID, and also online giving. A lot of people do online giving now. I mean, nobody's carrying cash around anymore these days. In fact, if you carry cash, you might be charged for taking it to the bank. And then social media, quite a lot of increase in social media engagement, and this is all technology as well. And then just like Dr. Nusa just shared about the resource hub, this is also another area that is so crucial for the cell ministry, how he's built the cell ministry doing it. So the technology also streamlines operations. It brings people together seamlessly. I mean, that is what is so important in technology, especially when it comes to the cell ministry. I mean, the cell ministry is the smaller size of the church. So this is something that we have to begin to think about, or we have to implement if we haven't done it, or we have to take it to the next level. And also it enriches worship and discipleship with multimedia, just like what we watched earlier, and virtual tools. You could see how you could go to a particular platform, maybe the one he just shared with us, Rich Media, and you could select a devotional, you could select a video, you could select anything. So, it brings everything together. So technology is quite important for the cell ministry. And then why? Because the cell ministry, these are the small groups of the church. And since they're the future of church growth, because for our purpose really is growth. Really, because if you look at the ministry of Jesus, when he started, it was a group of people he started with, and then they became 12, and then they grew, and then they started talking to 3,000, and then they started talking to 5,000. And then when he ascended to heaven, when Peter, the first time they came out of the upper room, they ministered to 3,000 people. You could see that growth has always been in the fabric of the church. So the small groups are the future of church growth. So we have to begin to think about them. They're the heartbeat of a thriving church. They help to foster deeper relationships, accountability, spiritual growth, and they enable discipleship beyond Sunday gatherings. And this is one of the things I was talking to my cell leaders this morning, and one of the things I told them was about growth. That they have to become more conscious of growth. And there's no way a church can grow, especially a church that has cells. They have to grow. Cells, powers that growth. And then, the cells also empowers leaders to engage more personally. The pastor cannot reach 500 people. I always tell my people, I can't reach 500 people. There's no way. But the cell leaders, the leaders of these smaller groups, can actually achieve this. So they are really, really important. So we have to look after them. We have to introduce technology to them. So we have to empower them with digital skills, you see. If you notice what I put on the screen there, the pandemic nearly shut out my church. Technology saved it. This is actually an article on The Wire in 2021, how technology saved a church. And that is just one article. And I'm sure many other churches experience the same thing. And I think Dr. Nosa also mentioned his own experience. So the cell leaders must begin to adopt digital skills. I mean, it's no longer it's no longer a luxury for them to have access to have digital skills such that the church can be impacted. It's not a necessity. So these skills can actually transform them. First of all, we can talk about basic skills. I did hear Mr. Karan talking about data. Data is so important. And one of the basic skills our leaders must have is data reporting. They must be able to tell us how many people did they reach, how many people is in their cell, how many, because a cell could have, different locations, or, can have a church with cell in different locations. So we must be able to provide feedback with data, you see, and this data is so important for the church. They must be able to use basic things like group messaging. This is technology. They must be able to use tools that can help them achieve group messaging. Trying to send a text message to one person is a lot of work. Talk less of now 30 people that you are looking after. So being able to do that is so important. And also collaborating with digital tools, being able to say yes this morning, and then after 3 months, you can go back and check that, did he say yes on that particular day? That is collaborating, being able to say that, yes, we collaborate. I did remember one of the times myself and Mr. Karan were talking about how you could, the service is going on, and there's an announcement that changed. Maybe the date was changing, and the guy that was doing the announcement, just brought out his tablet. He was thinking he was going to say the 13th of June. When he got to the text, he saw the 26th of June. That is amazing. I mean, being able to, on the fly, make changes to information, and that information is cascaded. And that is technology, you see. And so that's so important. Then advanced skills. One of the things we should impact our leaders with is advanced skills, e.g. interpreting data, being able to see, how are you doing? You had 3 members in June. How many members do you have now? I have 2 members. Something has happened. Interpreting what has happened is so important. Okay, what happened there? So interpreting data, advanced skills, and then using digital tools for engagement. How do you gather people together? It has to be through engagement. You have to engage them, and these are through using technology. And then finally, measuring impact. This is so important in our churches. Our leaders must have these skills, being able to check what have they done, how has the impact been in all the activities. As we go out on evangelism, what is our impact? How many copies of devotional, or how many tracts are we able to distribute? How many people responded? Who gave us contact numbers? These information are so important. So we must be able to allow them and get them to know that the digital tools they're handling is quite useful and relevant. So these skills are relevant for them. So I'll then go to a case study, okay? And this is, and I would just reflect back on what Mr. Conrad just mentioned about the church ERP. This is something that's very, very crucial for ministry, especially cell ministry, you know, and being able to have an enterprise resource planning solution for a church is so important. And he did share, and I'm sure we're going to have an opportunity to see one of it today, you know, and I've experienced a church that adopted this, you know, ERP to manage attendance, manage their giving. You could see the attendance, the growth in their numbers. You could see their giving, you know, how members gave to the gospel and how it has impacted the community. You could see you know, a reporting, and then even communication as well, how the platform can actually send out text messages, send out you know, a communication by email, you know, to a group of people, or to even the whole congregation in one go. Everybody gets the same information. Nobody is hearing a third party information, and that is so important. You know, that streamlines your ministry. You're not, you know, nobody's hearing different things, but they are hearing from you. Then leaders, you know, as a result, gained real-time insight into cell group engagement, and also their financial health, how they are doing, you know. And if you notice, in the olden times, some of the churches that started, they didn't continue because they were able to report effectively on their financial health. But now, because of solutions like ERP solutions, we can tell how you're doing. You can tell how you're doing. If anything is going to go wrong, you quickly, you know, call your leaders together and say, see, we need money to pay the rent and all those kind of things. And that's so important. And then this helps you to, you know, take better ministry decisions. And then also your pastoral staff, you know, is going to kind of reduce their admin. You know, I'll give an example. We were trying to send letters out the other day, and in fact, we're trying to create a slide deck for prayers. We wanted to show the names of the people that were praying, that we're going to pray for, on the screen. So what did we do? We leaned on our ERP solution. We downloaded the names of everybody that was on ERP solution, and we created a slide deck from there, so that when we're praying, we'll be you know, rotating through the names, and it will be on the screen. Everybody will see who we're praying for. That reduced admin burden. If it was before, they would have been looking for, you know, the names everywhere, trying to write it out and type it out. That had cut down the time, and then, you know, free more time for prayers, and also teaching, and then discipleship. So this is really important. So I kind of use that as a case study for you. So first step, what do we do? How do we begin this journey towards tech-savvy ministry, especially for our leaders? We start simple. We use the tools that, you know, that have everything you need to run the smallest church. And we already have that. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And then we train leaders incrementally. We show them what the tools are, what it could do. We could start from the smallest bit, show them additional functionalities or what we could do with all the tools that we can lay our hands upon, and then, you know, focus on the usefulness and ease of use, you know. And then the pastor must take the lead. The pastor must use it. If you don't use the tool that you're going to introduce into your congregation, they will not follow. So once you use the tool, they will use it. And then we should look at low cost and high impact solutions to build confidence and momentum, you know, and that's it. And so one of the things you're going to learn is how we can subscribe on a monthly basis to a tool that, you know, is going to be, you know, shared to us in a bit. So now we have to stay ahead. We have to stay ahead. We cannot just pick on the tool and then we'll go to sleep. We have to keep looking at how we can, you know, explore more functionality from these tools. One of the things I did with Mr. Conrad was to look at, okay, what are the additional things we can add to some of the tools we already have, and he kind of share some thoughts with him, and I also share my thoughts with him. So being dynamic and future ready is so important in ministry, because ministry, you know, technology is not going to wait for us to catch up. We have to be continuous, you know, moving along with it. And then we must cultivate a digital literacy, you know, as a spiritual and leadership discipline for our members as well. They must be involved, they must use it. We cannot leave them out of it. Then, so this is now the call to action for us. Our tech journey starts now, especially for our cell leaders. It starts now, and we must have future-ready cells that are looking at technology, are ready with their digital skills, and they are taking the next step by starting with a tool. You can start from this month. You can start looking at a tool this month. Are you ready to do that? We must equip one of our two cell leaders with training, with to equip them, to empower them. And then we must also look at improvements and plan our next step. What are the things we can learn from the tools we have adopted, and how we can take the next step. Okay. So finally, the mission hasn't changed. The gospel is our mission. The tools we have is what the monetization, but the tools have, the technological tool have, and then together we're equipping a tech-savvy, relational, vibrant church body. That's what we're doing. And that's from me. My name is Pastor Ben Akhigbe. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless you.